are going to read Masha and the Bear, a story from Russia, illustrated by Melanie Wilson. Masha and the Bear. A basket of berries. Once upon a time there was a little girl called Masha. She was picking berries in the forest. She stayed on the edge of the forest so she could see her house. From the forest's edge, she could see the red roof in her house. She could still see the white walls and the smoking chimney. Masha's parents had told her not to go too far from the trees. Forests are easy to get lost in. Forests are hard to escape from, they warned. Soon Masha had picked all the ripe berries on the bushes at the edge of the forest, but Masha's basket was not full, and she had lots of brothers and sisters to feed. So she took a few steps further into the forest to pick more berries. Then she went a little more further. Then she went even further. Oh no! Now her basket was full. She turned around to go home, but she could not see the red roof or the white walls of her house. She could not smell the sweet, smoking chimney. Masha did not know which way to go. She was lost. Masha went left, then she went right. Then she looked all around, but she could not see the edge of the forest. She could not see her house. Masha was scared, and she was not alone. Something was watching her behind a tree. It was a big brown bear. The bear stepped out and padded toward Masha. He said in a gruff voice, "Are you lost, little girl?" "Yes, Mr. Bear," replied Masha. "Do you want to go home?" asked the bear. "Yes, please, Mr. Bear." "Then come with me." The big brown bear led the little girl along a path in the forest. She led her past a vast river, a deep lake, and a rocky hill. He led her to a cave. Masha said, "But this is not my cave. This is not my home." "No," said the bear, "this is my home." "Ha, ha, 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 ha." It was cold and lonely in the forest, so Masha went into the bear's cave. She shared her basket of berries with the bear. She chatted with him about her lovely home. She told the bear about its red roof, its white walls. She talked about him of the sweet smell of wood smoke. And she told him about the tasty pie she baked with fruit. Then she fell asleep. The next morning, Masha said to the bear, "Can you take me home now?" "No!" said the bear. "No, I want you to stay here and make my cave as lovely as your home. I want you to sweep the floor for me and light the fires for me. I want you to cook pies for me." He stood up and blocked the door of the dusty cave. He crossed his big furry arms over his big furry chest. He stayed there until Masha nodded. She picked up a broom and started to sweep the floor. Masha missed her home. She missed her mother and her father. She missed her sister and even her brothers. But the bear would not let her go home as far as the cave, and he would never, ever, ever let her go home. As Masha cleaned and swept and dusted and cooked, she came up with a clever plan. Instead of crying, she smiled to the bear. Instead of nagging to go home, she sang songs as she worked. Instead of moaning, she baked the best cakes and pies ever. So the bear grew very fond of her. One day, Masha waited until the bear had just eaten a big apple tart. He was full and happy. He was rubbing his big fat tummy. Then she said, "Dearest bear, can I ask you a favor?" "No," growled the bear. "No, Masha, I would not let you go home." "I know that, dearest bear. I'm not asking to go home, but my family doesn't know where I am. I came into the forest to pick berries from them a long time ago, and they must be worried about me." "Please, can you take my family a gift from me?" Masha asked. Then my family will know I am safe and happy here with you. Next time I bake you a big cherry pie, Masha told the bear. I will also make 7 little cherry pies. I will make 4 for my brothers and 3 for my sister. I will also be happy if you would take the little pies at the forest and leave at the gate for my family. The bear wanted a happy singing Masha. He wanted her to stay home and make his home a cheerful place, so he agreed. I agree. The next morning, Masha picked lots of ripe red cherries from the trees outside the cave. She rolled the pastry and baked the pies. She made an enormous pie for the bear. Then she even made smaller pies for her brothers and sisters. She chatted with the bear while she asked, Now, dearest bear, I know you love cherry pies, but these little pies are not for you. They're for my brothers and sisters. So please don't sit down and nibble at the cherry pie on the way to my house. Oh, no, Masha, I won't, said the bear. Do you promise? Asked Masha. Yes, I promise, agreed the bear. I do believe you, dearest bear, but I just want to be sure. When you have gone, Masha said, I shall climb on the top of the tallest tree. From there, I could keep an eye on you. I can make sure that the pies get to my family safely, and I can make sure you get back home safely too. Masha took the pies out of the oven and gave the big pie to the bear. While he was busy eating, she put 4 of the small pies into the basket around the edge. Then she stepped into the basket herself. She sat in the middle and lifted the other 3 pies on top of her. 1 pie was on her left shoulder, the other one was on her right shoulder, and the last pie was on top of Masha's head like a hat. Masha was hidden in the basket under the pies. The bear picked up the basket and began to walk through the forest. When he reached the rocky hill, he stopped. He sat down because his basket was heavy. As he rested his paw, he thought about eating another cherry pie. This smells so good, he said to himself. Does Masha really have 7 brothers and sisters? Do they all need a pie? He put his big furry paw into the basket to pick up a cherry pie. He wanted the cherry pie on Masha's left shoulder. I see you, bear. As the bear's paw curled around the pie on top of Masha's left shoulder, Masha whispered, I see you, bear. I hope you're not going to eat the pie I baked for my littlest sister. Bear quickly snatched his paw back. He said, That little girl has sharp eyes to see me from so far away. He picked up the basket and walked on. Then he reached the deep lake. He stopped. He sat down because the basket was heavy. As he rested his paw, he thought again about eating another cherry pie. They smell so good. I don't think Masha brothers and sister all need pies. Why can't they share? He put his big furry paw in slowly into the basket to pick up another cherry pie. He wanted the cherry pie on Masha's right shoulder. His claws touched the pie crust. This one looks good. Masha whispered, I see you, bear. I hope you're not going to eat the pie I baked for my littlest brother. The bear quickly snatched his paw, and he said, That little girl has a loud voice to carry all that way. He picked up the basket and walked on. Then he reached in the bend in the river. He stopped. He sat down because the basket was heavy. He rested his paws and he thought again about eating another cherry pie. It smells so good, he said to himself. Perhaps not all her little brothers and sisters like cherries. I'm sure I could just have one. He put his big furry paw into the basket to pick up a cherry pie. He wanted the cherry pie that wobbled on Masha's head. He hooked his paws under the pie dish. Masha whispered, I see you, bear. I hope you're not going to eat the pie I baked for my new baby. The bear quickly snatched by his paw, and he said, That little girl must be up in the very tall tree. The big brown bear picked up the basket and walked on. He reached the edge of the forest and he stopped. He didn't like the wide open fields or the long roads. He didn't like the neat houses or the busy people, but he was sure Masha was still watching him from the tallest tree. He was sure she was ready to say, "I see you, Bear." So he padded out of the forest. He walked into the house in the red roof, the white walls with a long wood line of sweet smoke. He put the basket down in the gate. Then he ran back into the forest. When he was gone, Masha climbed out of the basket and skipped into the house. Masha's father and mother got the little girl back. Masha's brothers and sisters all got a cherry pie. They all smiled as they ate their pies. And what happened to the big brown bear? He had to learn how to do all of his chores. He had to learn how to do all his cleaning, dusting, and cleaning and sweeping. He had to learn how to bake his own cherry pies. Now we are finished with this book. I hope you like this book, and it is called Masha and the Bear. Be sure to subscribe, tap to the little bell icon so you don't miss it. Bye, kids!